Okay, let's talk about it. $1 million online in just 90 days. It's the kind of headline that just screams, click me, right? But today, we're not just going to click on it. We're going to rip it apart. We are deconstructing what's really behind that insane claim. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Yeah, right, another online scam. And look, it's easy to just dismiss it as total fantasy, but what if we didn't? What if we actually asked the tough questions? Is this thing even remotely possible? And if it is, what on earth would it actually take to pull something like that off? All right, let's be super clear. This isn't me trying to sell you some get-rich-quick course. No empty promises here. Our goal right now is to get real. We're going to unpack the mindset, the mechanics, everything that goes into this kind of insane online growth. It's about understanding the high-stakes game of scaling fast and what strategies actually make it happen. So, first things first, we need a major reality check. We've got to separate the myth, that flashy instant wealth fantasy, from the cold, hard mindset you'd need to even have a shot at this. You know, the perception is that it's all about finding some secret hack or just getting incredibly lucky. But the reality, it's so different. Most of these so-called overnight successes are like icebergs. You only see the tip, the big win. What you don't see are the years of work, the deep expertise, or the huge pile of cash they already had to pour into it. It is almost never, and I mean never, a true zero to hero story in 90 days. Okay, so if you even want to play this game, you need a very specific kind of mindset. Think of it as 5 key traits. First up, unwavering focus. I mean laser beam, no distractions, total commitment. Second, you got to be obsessed with solving problems. Not just any problem, but asking, what massive problem can I solve for people? Third, you need a high tolerance for risk. You're basically betting the farm with zero guarantees. Fourth, thinking about scalability from day one. Not how do I make 1 sale, but how do I make 10,000 sales? And finally, and this one's a biggie, you almost always need a hitting foundation. Maybe it's an audience you've been building for years or some super rare skill you've already mastered. But look, having the right mindset is like being a world-class driver. It's not enough if you're stuck in a beat-up old car. You need the right vehicle. You need a Formula One car. Not all businesses are built for this kind of speed. For hypergrowth, you have to pick a business model with massive leverage. And here are some of those high-speed vehicles. You've got high-ticket consulting, right, where you're landing just a few massive clients and raking in huge revenue. Then there's SaaS, software as a service. The dream, right? Build it once, sell it 1 million times on a subscription. Or how about niche e-commerce? This is where you find that one viral product that just explodes. You could also go with scalable digital products. Think online courses that you can sell automatically, 24/7. And finally, there's performance marketing, where you're using big ad budgets to drive sales and taking a big cut. Any of these could work if you execute flawlessly. All right, mindset? Check. High-speed business model? Check. So what's next? The blueprint. And listen, this isn't about pulling more all-nighters or just working harder. It's a framework for being surgical, for working smarter, and way, way faster on the only things that actually matter for hypergrowth. This 90-day sprint is broken down into brutal, focused phases. The first 15 days, it's all about market validation. That means finding out if people will actually open their wallets for what you're selling before you go all in. Then, days 15 to 45, you hit the accelerator on paid traffic. You're pouring fuel on the fire to get in front of tens of thousands of people fast. After that, you obsess over your sales funnels, tweaking every little detail to convert as many visitors as possible. And that final month, it's all about automation and delegation. You have to get yourself out of the way, otherwise you become the bottleneck that kills the whole thing. And the one golden rule that ties that whole blueprint together is this quote right here. Speed is your only true competitive advantage. You cannot afford to wait for perfection. It's about launching something that's good enough, collecting real data, listening to what your customers are actually saying, and then improving every single day. That cycle, launch, data, feedback, improve, that's the engine that drives this whole machine. But, okay, a 90-day sprint is, well, it's a sprint. It's not a marathon. So what happens on day 91? Do you just collapse? To actually build something that lasts, something real, you need more than just a quick burst of speed. You need a rock-solid foundation. So now, let's talk about the pillars that turn a flash-in-the-pan win into a legitimate long-term asset. Pillar number 1. This is the big one, the absolute non-negotiable. You have to deliver exceptional value. Look, slick marketing and hype might get you some initial sales, but you cannot fake your way to $1 million and stay there. Your product, your service, it has to actually genuinely solve a real, painful problem for people. It has to deliver results so good, they're undeniable. Everything else is built on this bedrock. Pillar 2 is all about building trust and authority. Let's face it, the internet is a noisy, skeptical place. People have their guard up. You can't just expect them to trust you. You earn it, and you earn it by being transparent, by giving away real value without a hidden agenda, and by proving every single claim you make. In this game, trust is the real currency. It's what turns a single purchase into a fan for life. All right, pillar number 3 is all about what happens on the inside. It's grit and resilience. And let me be perfectly clear. You are going to fail. A lot. Ad campaigns will bomb, product launches will fizzle, your brilliant plans will fall apart. It's inevitable. The real magic is in your ability to take those punches, learn the lesson, and get right back up, still hungry. That's what separates the people who make it from, well, everyone else. Next up, pillar 4, you have to be a learning machine. The digital world doesn't stand still. It moves at a blistering pace. The marketing tricks that worked last year are a joke today. The platforms change their algorithms overnight. If you're not constantly learning, you're not just standing still, you're falling behind. You have to be relentlessly curious and hungry for new knowledge just to stay in the game. And that brings us to the 5th and final pillar, smart reinvestment. When the money starts rolling in, the temptation is to cash out, buy the fancy car, you know the drill. But if you want to scale to the moon, you can't do that. A huge chunk of every dollar you make has to get poured right back into the engine. More ads, better software, hiring a team. You're not just making money, you're building an asset. You're feeding the fire to make it burn bigger and brighter. So, after all of that, what are the real odds of pulling this off? Let's be honest, maybe 1%. If that. The chances of actually hitting $1 million in 90 days are astronomically small. But here's the twist. Maybe hitting the number isn't the real prize. The real value is in what it takes to even try. The process itself forces you to level up, to think and act in a way you never have before. And that's really the big takeaway here. The goal, it was never really about the money. It's about the person you have to become to even get in the ring. The focus you build, the strategies you master, the resilience you gain when you get knocked down, that's the real win. It's about who you become in the person.